What is happening, all you minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today for an advanced look at some Marvel trade paperbacks coming out on December 23rd. Let's do this. And welcome back, everybody. Before I get started, a huge thank you to David Gabriel and the folks in Marvel for sending us advanced copies of these trade paperbacks. As I mentioned, these trade paperbacks do come out in the direct market on December 23rd, and then a couple of weeks later in the book market. So today we're going to kick it off with Hawkeye, Freefall. Here we have Hawkeye, Freefall, collecting all 6 issues of the limited series, and I'll be holding up all the spines together. And one of my favorite characters makes a return here. No, not Ronan. This guy right here. The Hood. This is written by Matthew Rosenberg. Matthew Rosenberg had a run on X-Men. He's had a run on The Punisher. And then it is drawn by Otto Schmidt, who did some artwork for DC on the Green Arrow. So it's interesting that he did both of the Archers. He did Green Arrow and then came over to Marvel to do Hawkeye. Now, the basic premise of this particular miniseries is that there is a new Ronin going around, just he's destroying all of these mobsters and villains, and of course, the Avengers immediately think that it's Clint Barton. He's got to be the one behind all this, because he took the persona of Ronin in the past, him and Echo, and he has to be doing it again. Of course, there's a lot more to it than that mystery. Both Winter Soldier and Falcon, the buddy cop comedy that's coming out early next year, come and pay him a visit, and he's like, no, what are you guys talking about? It's not me. So there's a whole mystery. There's a couple of plot twists in here that at least I didn't see coming. And there's also some appearances by other Marvel characters that show up. You have Daredevil show up, and then you also have Spider-Man show up. So all of this takes place in 2020. That's when this miniseries came out. So Daredevil has the Chip Zdarsky outfit. Spider-Man is going through his Nick Spencer run. So this is a more recent series. And there's a lot of goofiness in here, such as what you see in these pages. So prepare for that type of humor. D-Man is back. Mockingbird. And of course the return of my boy right there, U.S. Agent, who's getting a lot of love lately in the collected editions department. And because pretty sure he's showing up in the Falcon Winter Soldier series. So the book retails for $17.99 and has 136 pages. Let's look in the back here for some extras. It ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger too. Like, the story gets wrapped up, but it ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger. So we have some variant covers here. There's a classic Dave Cockrum cover, just not reimagined, but just with new colors. And there's my boy, the Hood. Who hasn't been shown a lot of love since he appeared in New Avengers. But that miniseries by Brian K. Vaughan, I think I've talked about it as being one of my hidden gems. It is phenomenal. The covers are, of course, collected here within the issue. So you have the ending of the first issue and then the cover of the next issue. And here we have our Marvel graphic novel line. This is the trade paperback ARAñA, Here Comes the Spider-Girl. A take on the Here Comes the Spider-Man song. Here's what the back looks like. This one retails for $12.99. Let's look inside to look at some of this beautiful Mark Brooks artwork. So what the heck is ARAñA? Who is she? Well, she was a character that first appeared in the pages of Amazing Fantasy. And this is not the Amazing Fantasy, right, from the 1960s. This is the 2004 relaunch of Amazing Fantasy, which is the same issues that, Amadeus Cho showed up in. So she's a new character. And so this collects Amazing Fantasy, the 2004 series, 1 through 6, and then she got her own series in 2005, so it collects all 6 issues of that. And it introduces us to the character of Aña Corazón, who becomes ARAñA. And through a mysterious tattoo, she inherits the power of this armor. Not yet. You'll see it here in a couple of issues. But it reminds me, like, it is heavily inspired by Guyver. I don't know how many of you know that terminology. It's a manga and then turned anime. Oh, wait. They brought it over to America in 2 movies. So I know some of y'all have seen it on, like, the Sci-Fi Channel years ago with Mark Hamill. But anyway, that's what her suit reminds me of. Not this outfit, but the actual, like, ARAñA outfit that she dons later on. So all of this is rare because This is all drawn by Mark Brooks, who now just does covers. But at one time, he was able to carry this monthly series right here. And it's all sequential artwork, so it's really nice, this armor right here. So it's really nice to see that. There's not a lot of Mark Brooks out there that's been collected. And this is a great story. I really enjoy this character, and I'm surprised that she never really blew up the way that some of these newer characters have. And I think that's because it was 2004, and I don't think a lot of people were ready for brand new, what I like to call legacy characters. Here's a variant cover by Joe Quesada. I remember having that issue. And then Amazing Fantasy number 6. So some of the variants are on the opposite side of the regular covers. Now, he does the main 6-issue story arc. And then when she gets her own series, there's an artist here that can mimic just about anybody's style. I've talked about him before when he was mimicking Jim Lee's style. And then he was mimicking Joe Madureira's style. But this is Roger Cruz, who is a freaking fast artist. And like I mentioned, can mimic just about anybody's style. Of course, that's helped with the colors, but honestly, when I first read that first issue, I was like, oh, it's the same artist. I really like this guy. Now, a lot of the colors are done by Udon Studios, who went on to do their own set of publishing their own books, but they were doing the colors here in these issues. So, 280 pages. Like I mentioned, the book retails for $12.99. Now, the character of Anya, she's still around. From time to time, you'll see her appear in Spider-Man or some kind of Spider-Man crossover event. And let's see, if sometimes they put extras in the back. Not this time. This is an advertisement for other Marvel graphic novel lines. But like I mentioned, 280 pages. And just in case you don't know the dimensions of this, here it is compared to the size of a standard trade paperback. Getting a couple of Spider-Man titles today. A couple of legacy characters. This is Ghost Spider Volume 2. Party People. And there is a picture right there of Gwenom. And I feel so ridiculous saying Spider-Gwen and Gwenom, but her name is not Spider-Gwen anymore. Her name is Ghost Spider, which is a lot cooler. But Gwenom still hasn't grown on me, but that's just my personal opinion. However, I do like the design of the character. Not gonna lie. This is, again, written by Shauna McGuire, and it's all drawn by Ig Guara. There's a couple of fill-in pages from other artists, but it's mainly done by Ig Guara, who's a Brazilian artist. Now, this is the first time I've read Shauna McGuire's work. I know she's a novelist, but she did the first the first 5 issues that were collected in the first trade paperback. And then this is the next 5 issues. And this wraps up the series because it ends with issue 10. This one retails for $15.99 and has 112 pages, collecting, like I mentioned, issues 6 through 10 of Ghost Spider. Love this Paul Pope cover. That is beautiful. I've never seen that before until opening this up. It's a lot of simplicity to it and complexity. The colors are beautiful. It's just perfect. I don't know. It's gorgeous. So this one here has our main character, Gwen Stacy, from an alternate Earth. She's not from this reality, right? She's from Earth 65 and bounces back and forth between Earth 65 and Earth 616, which is our reality. That's why this character is around. There is an omnibus coming out that will explain all that later on in 2021. And of course, when you're hopping realities, you have appearances by characters like The Maker, who was part of the Ultimate storyline in, was it Al Ewing and then Jonathan Hickman's run. But was a character in the Ultimate Fantastic Four. Yes, like I said, not a fan of the name Gwenom, but I really like that design of the Venom costume on Gwenpool, or Gwenpool, so many on Ghost Spider. So I guess it's a Ghost Venom now. But this isn't the last time we'll see Ghost Spider, because I know currently she is showing up in the pages of The King in Black. There is another miniseries featuring her character. Now let's look in the back here for some extras. Of course, censoring the final page. In the back, there is a note from the editor, just telling you where you might see Ghost Spider again. And then this is a page from inside the book without the colors. And that is gorgeous. And for all you Spine watchers out there, and everybody else, just a reminder to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We put out videos every day, but here is what all those spines look like together. So next up is Ravencroft. That's exactly what it's called, and not to be confused with Ruins of Ravencroft. And that was the back. Now, Ravencroft is the facility where there's the other series right here, or the other mini-series. In the aftermath of Absolute Carnage, Ruins of Ravencroft. So Ravencroft is a facility where they were locked up, where Cletus Cassidy, where Carnage was locked up, where a lot of these characters from the Marvel Universe, from Spider-Man's, really, it's kind of like their Arkham Asylum. However, during Absolute Carnage, it was destroyed, and now they want to reopen it back up, and that's what this is about. So it's about opening up Ravencroft, because that sounds like a good idea. It didn't go bad before, nor has it ever had any issues, but this time they want to play it safe, so they want to have a new type of staff. So we have Misty Knight involved, and eventually we'll have characters like John Jameson, JJ's son, who of course is Beowulf, and then the Punisher gets involved. Now, all of this is written by Frank Thierry and drawn by Angel Unzuela. Now, Frank Thierry is no stranger to a lot of these characters that appear throughout these pages. He has written Wolverine, he's written Weapon X, he's written Deadpool, and then he's done other work for other publishers like Catwoman, Pestilence. That was one of my hidden gems when it comes to horror books. But this is all his writing in here. And I wasn't familiar with the artist, with Unzuela, but his artist actually fits the book. It's really good and dark at times when it needs to be. So it's a reopening of Ravencroft, and that's pretty much it. The book is $15.99 and collects all 5 issues of the miniseries. It is 112 pages long. And of course, when you're opening up a facility like this, mistakes are going to happen and things are going to go wrong. Because nothing ever goes right. Why would you want to read something that is just boring and goes right? Let's look in the back here for some extras. Even though the page on the left-hand side is not part of the comic, it's just an ad for The King in Black, it does reveal something, a return of a character that shows up in this book. But here are some variant covers. And then these two. Surprised they didn't just do 2 more pages, but anyway, let's keep going. Here we have the Marvelverse WandaVision book. So this is called WandaVision, I'm sure because of the TV show that's coming out. Any other day, this would have been called Vision and Scarlet Witch, probably. But these are the exact same dimensions as the graphic novel line for kids, as you can tell from here. They're just not as thick. This one retails for $9.99. And what these Marvelverse books do, I've done Venom, I've done Black Widow and Thanos, is they reprint classic issues of these characters, usually showing their origin and then the issues that probably make them stand out to a lot of us readers. So it collects the Avengers Origins Vision. That's pretty interesting that they collect this, the very first thing, not his first appearance, but this issue right here, which is a 2011 issue when they were doing the Avengers Origins, but it's got beautiful artwork in here. And this is all drawn by Stefan Perger. It is written by Kyle Higgins, this particular story. And then we go to a classic here. Let's keep moving. But this retells the origin, or a little modernization of the origin of Vision. Now, I'm not censoring that page on the left-hand side because I really don't think it spoils anything. But it also collects Giant Size Avengers number 4, which is a big monumental event for not just the Vision, but Scarlet Witch. And not just both of them, but there's a couple other characters like Mantis and the Katati Swordsman. And then it also collects Marvel Team Up 129 and 130. So just the stories about the Vision and Wanda, Scarlet Witch, and their dealings with a lot of the Marvel Universe in these 4 comics here. And there's stuff in here by Bill Mantlo, there's Bob McLeod, Chris Claremont, Louis Simonson, just some of the creators behind this. This book has 112 pages. I don't think it has anything extra in the back. Oh, no, it does. Okay, it's a picture of the Vision and Scarlet Witch by David Mack. But here's all the other Marvelverse books. Last, but certainly not least, is Avengers West Coast Vision Quest. This is Epic Collection Volume 4, I believe. Yes, from the years 1988 to 1989. Here's what it collects inside and retails for $39.99. Now, I find it interesting, or I know I'm not the only one, that this is called Avengers West Coast, because when this series first started out, it was West Coast Avengers. But this is the volume where the name is about to change. So it kicks off with the third annual, which is part of the Evolutionary War. Actually, both of the annuals are part of a big event. So this collects West Coast Avengers 38 through 46, and then it officially changes the name to Avengers West Coast 47 through 52, annual number 3, and then annual number 4, and then material from Avengers Spotlight number 23. So this wraps up the previous run of West Coast Avengers, and there's a lot of talent in there. Like you have Steve Englehart, Tom DeFalco, Fabian Nicieza, D.G. Chichester, and pretty much what it does is it sets the book up for a brand new writer and artist that is not only taking over this book, but also taking over Avengers. And he is a veteran to a lot of these characters. So a lot of the characters that you were used to seeing in the pages of Avengers West Coast, or West Coast Avengers rather at the time, are just pretty much going about their way. They're returning back to their roots. And it's all to make way for this guy right here with issue number 42, John Byrne, when he takes over the book. So John Byrne is writing and drawing the Avengers West Coast books now. And they have tie heavily into his Avengers book. He changes some of the characters like Tigra, which I know I wasn't happy about, but what are you going to do? And this serves as a purpose to reimagine the character of Vision. This is where you see Vision changing again. There's a lot of beautiful artwork in here, though. It's also the return of a few other characters that I'm sure you probably just saw. Not that she was gone for a long time, but Mockingbird. And then he changes the lineup of the West Coast Avengers. Now, like I mentioned, it's got beautiful artwork. And John Byrne's a guy that understood these characters, so he wanted to write it. There's a revelation about Scarlet Witch's kids that you may or may not have heard of that led into other events many years later, but that all starts here. Yeah, let me show you this. I will never forget, like, this isn't that big of a spoiler because it's the Vision, he's still around, but I will never forget as a kid turning to this page and just, what the hell did they do to Vision? I was just blown away. Not just by the fact that they took him apart, but also the amount of detail. And then the first page of the next issue, bam! How that is awesome. And it's not just John Byrne. There's also inks by Mike McCallan. So he has, a lot of praises to him too. So during this, the Avengers West Coast are trying to find new team members to join the team because they have to make up for the other characters that got up and left. Now, there's changes not just to Vision mentally, but also physically, which is right here. I'm sure you've seen him. So this is what the 90s Vision looked like. This is what a lot of the kids, like myself, grew up reading during his Avengers run. This is what he looked like. He was ghosted. So we got really excited during that scene in Infinity War when Thanos ripped off the gem, and you're like, oh, he's black and white. That's awesome. He's going to come back. Like, no, he never did. But it's not just changes to him. There's also changes, like I mentioned, to other characters. But the biggest change will happen with Scarlet Witch when I think the next story. This doesn't finish up John Byrne's run. This leads into the Darker Than Scarlet storyline. So we'll need the next Epic Volume 5, to wrap up that run. Now, as far as extras in the back, let's look back here. There is an interview with John Byrne. This has got to be old. 1989 from Marvel Age. The book, by the way, $39.99 and has 488 pages. There's house ads here for the Vision Quest storyline, which is this 5-page event, or 5-issue event, sorry, that's collected in here. Official Handbook of the Marvel Universe artwork, uncolored and uninked pages. And then the Vision Quest trade paperback with the new colors. So yes, if you've noticed, the front here, this is the original colors to the cover of the original issue. Not the exact colors on the logo, though, but For all those purists that hate when Marvel or DC recolors your old artwork, they did keep the colors here, the original colors. Maybe touched up a little bit, but not new colors like this. But that, as they say, is that. Now, when these books come out, don't forget to check out our sponsor, CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. Beginning Thanksgiving morning, visit their bargain bin for Black Friday deals up to 90% off cover price. New items will be added throughout the day and the rest of the holiday season. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content and page count of each of these trades. Let me know which ones you're picking up. I know a lot of you all are big fans of the Epic collections, but I don't know if you get every Epic collection or if you just stick to X-Men, if you just stick to Spider-Man, or Avengers. And which series you've been waiting to check out in collected edition, whether it's Ravencroft or Freefall, or if you've never heard of ARAñA. And of course, the classic here, the Marvelverse WandaVision book. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button, and ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. We can be found on Redbubble and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel. We have different tiers of our Patreon. All of that information is in the description down below. And when you ring that bell for notifications, it tells you when our videos are going live, such as tonight's video at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Old Reader, New Reader, where I go back and reread something, and my new readers, Maddie and Amanda, read it for the first time. And tonight we're going to be reviewing Nightwing Year 1. And that's pretty much it. Please, everybody, remember to stay healthy, stay safe out there, and much love.